Coming to you live from the Australian bush, I am Lewis, we are Gone Wilding, and we thought we would give you a little tour of our 2003 Troop Carrier Hildy. So here we have our winch setup. It's a carbon winch, 12,000. It basically lives here. It's hooked up there. Does probably a nice job of sort of distracting from our lovely dodgy number plate that you can see there. We have upgraded our headlamps to LEDs, which makes a really big difference, especially given, as you may notice, we're not running any light bars or spotlights or anything like that. And you may be thinking, why in the world would anyone go traveling Australia without that kind of modification to their four-wheel drive? And the reason is we almost religiously just don't drive at night because the amount of wildlife that we have seen in Tasmania so far. We just made the decision that we're not going to do that unless it's completely unavoidable, and we haven't had to do it so far. So that's the reason we haven't done that. You don't need big lights during the day. All right, so here we have our wonderful dual purpose aerial. Now you might be wondering, why is it so tall? And the reason for that is that on the one hand, it gives us very good range on our two-way, and on the other, it gives me an indication of whether or not when I'm driving, if I'm going to hit anything with our high top that you can see behind the aerial. So this is 3.3 meters tall, and the top of the cage is 3 meters. So basically, if this doesn't hit anything, the top of the car doesn't hit anything, and we are all good. All right, so because we have the high top and the car is exceedingly large, we have this lovely ladder. It enables me to get on the top of the roof. And as you can see, we'll just get on up here, have a little squiz up on the top of the car. So this is how I get onto the roof, where we have various objects like a camping mat, a spare jerry can, and a hose. Oh, and the surfboards. But that's fine, I'll show you the surfboards when we go around the other side. Okay, so now that you've seen our lovely ladder, you may be wondering what this large black pipe is. And that is basically a bush shower. So it's a solar shower in the sense that it's a PVC pipe, it's painted black, absorbs sunlight and gets hot. Has it worked that well so far? Not really. Cold showers have been the go, but we'll see what happens when we go elsewhere in Australia where it's not Tasmania and the irradiance has been low. All right, so for this next one, gonna need my hands. So the famous stick mic is gonna become just a regular boring lapel mic. All right, so this is our shower cubicle. No, we are not nudists. We have one of these so that we can shower when we are out in the bush or at the beach or wherever and no one sees anything. So this one is thankfully really quite easy to use. Just pops out this one. Oh. I can never remember which way it goes first, but there you go. It's all part of the front. Ta-da! There you go. Now you can have a shower without worrying about anyone seeing. This is our shower head or whatever. We have taps on both sides of our car, and this has a magnet in it, which is actually fantastic because there's a little gap in the back of this, so I can whack it onto the side of the car, bonk, and turn it on. I'm not going to do that, probably spray myself given the angle it's at, but there you go, that's how we shower. So here we are around the back, the business end. We have a Bush Ranger wheel bag, which sits on top of our spare tyre, which is being carried by the Kmart, I don't know, Troopy rear bar assembly, which came with the car. We do not have the jerry can carrier at the moment because when we left, it just seemed like extra weight, and we have one of the jerrys inside the car, just sort of works better for us. This is our camping toilet. It is a Thetford porta potty, and it lives up there. It actually works really quite well. Cut it.
Yeah, I think we should.
All right, so one thing, a problem that we needed to solve was where to keep our toilet. So obviously if you're going out bush, in some places they require vehicles or campers to be fully self-contained, and that means carrying a toilet with you. So we went for a Thetford porta potty, and the reason that it is sitting up here mounted onto what is otherwise a gas bottle carrier is that, first of all, it is too large for the internal space in the car, nor did we want our toilet inside the car. And when it's being used or it's got, you know, water and stuff in it, I didn't want to be carrying it up and down onto the roof with one hand. So we came up with this solution. It's just sitting inside a canvas carry bag with some straps, and it actually works really well. Haven't had any issues whatsoever. So a very important part of any full driving setup are these max tracks in terms of recovery gear. They live up here. We have 4 of them. Thankfully we haven't had to use them for any recovery purposes, but we have used them when we go to campsites where we need to level the car. They actually work really, really well for leveling the vehicle when we have uneven surfaces, say if the back is sitting low, which it tends to do because it's heavier than the front. So we've used them a fair few times on hilly campsites, and they help us level out the car for sleep. All right, so another important part of the outdoor part of our setup are these lights that you can see here. So these little ones, little pucks, they're like quite yellow, quite a warm sort of light, which is really cool because we don't have to worry as much about the lights on the outside of the vehicle attracting insects. So if you have a cooler light or something that's bluer or whiter, it will be more likely to attract mozzies, which nobody wants. So we have these yellow ones, and they work really well. This one here though is a little light bar, and it is super bright. So when we're cooking, for instance, we use that, or it's also we have a switch inside and we can use it as a deterrent if we hear anything sort of lurking around the car in the night. It worked really well for the very large possums that we've come across in Tasmania. Okay, so for our setup in terms of water, we have a large tank, which is 80 litres, that lives underneath the rear of the car. There are pumps inside that live just here behind the metal, and then there are taps to here. This tap comes from the underbody tank. This tap comes from that large black plastic tube on the other side, which I showed you earlier. And the tap around the other side feeds from that black plastic tube as well. So we use that for showering, basically, sometimes to like wash our hands and stuff. We use this one, the underbody tank, for drinking water, for cooking. I'm up on the roof now because I'm going to show you the surfboard setup. So we've got 2 boards here. One's, I don't know, 6 foot. The other one's 8 and a little bit. And we fitted these J-shaped surfboard mounts or racks to the cage of the car, which actually works really, really well. They're very easy to get down. We just use these ratchet straps, but I just unhook them from the cage on the roof, like so, and then just pass the surfboards down to Tiaan when I want to go and be humbled by the ocean. So the brand of the J hooks or the J mounts is Ocean Earth. So if anyone's wondering, we bought them online. They were like $45 or $50 or something, and they work really, really well for our setup because it means that I don't have to have surfboards up here on the roof or, you know, in the car or something like that. They just hang nicely off the side. They're not too wide. They sit easily within the mirror in terms of the width. So it's a very practical setup that allows us to go surfing. All right, better be quick. The light man is trying to go away. Right, so this is our Darche 270-degree awning. So that's from the front bar all the way around to the tyre carrier basically. I will pull it out. This thing is fantastic because we can have both sides, or this side of the car and the back. So that's our whole cooking area, and basically like our, you know, where we'd sit or set up or whatever, completely covered when we have this out. Again, these things are really easy to use once you've sort of figured out. Oh, that's fun. Ta-da! So really easy to use once you've figured out just which way they go back in and stuff. But as you can see, all the way around the back, we have some little ties basically to keep the awning tight. So I just tie these both sides, so front and back, to the ladder on the other side of the car. But as you can see, it's very extensive in terms of its coverage. And I would say that it's probably a must-have for anyone considering traveling in a Troopy. A really cool feature of our car is that it came with fly screens on our sliding bay windows, or whatever you call them. These are fantastic because it means we can actually open the windows and have a breeze going into the car and not worry about having no sleep of a night because we're getting attacked by mozzies. So one thing that we are very happy we spent some money on is re-tinting, or having our car tinted. So in the back here, we've got it set to like privacy glass spec. There's actually no curtain or anything on the other side of this glass. It's just the tint. It's that dark. So it's like 5% opacity, I think, which is fantastic because then we don't have to worry about people looking in and seeing us. You just cannot see through this glass, basically. It's great. Highly recommend. And in the front, on the sides, and in the rear, we went for darkest legal. And again, well worth the money. Highly recommend. All right, so arguably the most important thing about a car in terms of keeping you on the road are these tyres. We are running BFG Baja Champions. They're 285, 70 or something, 16s. This is good. We've had a car previously which ran 305s, so like 33s, and it was just too big. I just don't think you need those unless you're doing some really crazy forward driving, which we are not, to be honest. So these are great. We have a tyre pressure monitoring system, which you may have seen we've mentioned before. This sends temperature and pressure information into a little reader in the car that sits on the dash. It's fantastic. Really, really approve or recommend people to get one of those. It's fantastic having that information at your fingertips. Okay, so as you may have noticed, this car is very large, and to deal with that, we have upgraded our suspension. This car runs coil springs in the front, leaves in the rear. So we've got the Tough Dog 3780 kilogram upgrade kit. They use the large diameter shock absorbers so that it rides really nicely. And we'll come and show you the back. So this is the rear of the car. As you can see, there are many leaf springs, and that is just to deal with the weight of this kit and to manage the weight of the car. All right, so that was a little tour of Hildy. And I will finish by saying, last but not least, this lovely sticker, which tells everyone who we are. Big thanks to Vicky, Tiaan's mum.